everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hang on a second. Yours truly is a little disorganized. Hang on. Oh, can y'all hear me? Hang on. Can y'all hear me? I can't hear myself. Can you hear me? It's that time of year. Oh, yeah, no kidding. Yes. Okay, good. Oh, Melodee Buzzard, how sad. Just yesterday, I did a video. I was doing some shopping. Thank you for the update, Donna and Miss Krista. I don't know if Krista's joining me. I think she is. You both sent me an update that messages that there was updates in the case. I came home. I tried to start a live, but the channel didn't work, if you can imagine. The YouTube did not stream. I'm streaming it. Nobody's there. It's not showing on the page. I create a video and then deleted the whole video and instead of the part that I meant to edit out. So here we are. So let's watch. There's going to be a presser, and I just want to watch this with you, and we're going to look for the presser, but sadly they found the remains of the body of Melodee, 9-year-old. Hey Lisa, how are you? How's everybody doing? There you are, Krista, Donna. It's pretty sad. They found the remains of her, Melodee. Let me just pull it up here. And regrettably, she's been deceased since early December. And yesterday we talked about in this video, I'm just going to pull up another video here for you here. We talked about in this video that yesterday we talked about the protesters and everything. Sorry. Just trying to find the video. My daughter is calling me as I'm trying to go live. It's like kids. So mom's been arrested. Let's go watch this. Hang on. Oh, hang on. Instagram. Let me just play this.
I'm Julia Janae with Court TV, and we have some major breaking news for you out of California. The body of missing 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard has been found, and her mother, Ashley Buzzard, has been arrested in connection with her daughter's murder. The paternal grandmother of little Melodee telling our affiliate KSBY there on California's Central Coast this morning that she was told this by detectives, that Melodee Buzzard's body was found in early December in Utah in an area where the mother and daughter had traveled. Now, law enforcement officials believe that Melodee was killed and that it's likely she's been dead since October. That's according to law enforcement sources telling ABC News. They say that she was known to be missing. Investigators have been waiting on DNA to come back on those human remains, which now have come back, confirming it was indeed Melodee. Now, Ashley Buzzard was arrested due to that DNA test return. That's according to those law enforcement sources. The investigation into the missing girl was sparked back in October, where her school reported her extended absence. Authorities determined that Melodee and Ashley left their California home on October 7th for this 3-day road trip that took them all the way to Nebraska. And you remember this surveillance video of Ashley seeming to wear a wig along with her daughter. They were last seen together on October 7th at that car rental company in their hometown. Now, Melodee was last seen alive on October 9th near the Colorado-Utah border. This is according to authorities, that when Buzzard returned the vehicle at that car rental later, Melodee was not with her. Now, Ashley never cooperated with authorities during the search for her daughter, and she was actually charged in November with false imprisonment for not letting a man leave her house who was trying to help her find Melodee. But those charges were eventually dismissed and she was released. But again, she has been rearrested at her home this morning in connection with her daughter's death. We will keep you updated with any new developments. For now, we'll go back into the programming that's already.
Okay, so We are looking for the presser, everybody. She was arrested this morning. It's pretty sad. It's very sad. I mean, hey, Donna, sweetie. Nice to see you. Moving over to larger screen. Hey, Wendy. Welcome in, everybody. Just yesterday, I don't know if you saw the video that I did. I'm just going to start looking for the presser here. I did a video yesterday. I don't know if you watched it. A lot of people didn't watch it. So let's just watch that. I'll show you that while we're waiting. And I'm going to look for the presser in the meantime. But yeah, I'll show you this for a second here. And while I look for the presser, it's just a short one. If you missed it yesterday, you can watch this for a second here. Hang on, Liane. Let me get you the actual video and not the... Okay. Wow, sorry everybody. I was not prepared because I was out shopping when this all went down for Christmas. Gotta make gravy and stuffing tonight and the last minute Christmas stuff. So, okay, listen in. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome back into Motive Means Opportunity. Today we're going to discuss Melodee Buzzard case. If you're new here, we have followed Melodee Buzzard extensively. It's a crazy case. So we're going to be talking about the disappearance of 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard and the growing wave of outrage that is people protesting outside her mother's home, Ashley Buzzard's home. How did we get to this point where strangers are standing on a sidewalk begging a mother to tell them where her child is? And what does it say about the system that weeks later authorities don't have those answers? Stay with me. We're going to talk about what this means, the case, the crazy case of Melodee Buzzard. But first, I want you to watch this clip.
Protesters gathered outside the California home of Ashley Buzzard yesterday. Remember this? So it was a demonstration that was organized on TikTok. This is anger and frustration continue to build in the case of her missing 9-year-old daughter, Melodee. The child has now been missing for more than 6 weeks. Protesters say they want answers. And in a stunning and emotional scene, one of the people outside the home was Buzzard's own older daughter. And this protest comes as an acquaintance, Tyler Brewer, claims that she told him she left Melodee with a couple that she met at a zoo, people she allegedly can't name or locate or provide contact information for. Brewer says he pressed her about whether Melodee had been harmed or trafficked and claims she just refused to answer. Tonight, the questions are only growing louder.
Thank you.
Yeah, where is Melodee Buzzard? This case is very disturbing. Ashley Buzzard doesn't drive. Ashley Buzzard has a history of mental illness, and she lost her first daughter. In fact, the case of Ashley Buzzard is deeper than we could ever have imagined. Some reporters discovered that Ashley Buzzard's mom and her had to flee her father, and they were homeless at one point. They were in shelters, I believe, and she was 9 years old, the same age as her daughter that is missing, Melodee Buzzard. She doesn't drive, but she wears wigs when she leaves the house. She looks like she's disguising herself, and she rented a car and drove all the way out to Utah into the mountains and made several stops in different states over a 3-day period this fall, wearing wigs, where her daughter was videotaped in one of the car rental places also wearing a wig. And that was the last we have of any proof that 9-year-old Melodee Buzzard is still alive. Her friend, longtime friend, tried to get from her what she did with little Melodee, and she refused to ask. They ended up arresting her on a charge I suspect was mainly just to try to persuade her to talk to them, because she had taken a box cutter. And in the midst of all this, she's moving and packing boxes. Well, it gets even stranger. Stay with me. She had threatened Tyler in his account of the story, and they refused to let him leave the house. And he tape recorded that conversation. And he felt afraid because the implication was with the box cutter that he wasn't safe. Now, we heard that recording, and that might have been a stretch of what really happened because she didn't sound threatening in the recording, and it was tossed out of court, regrettably. But authorities used that to try to get her to talk to them about where Melodee is, and she didn't talk. But here's the disturbing part. In all of that, Melodee, when Tyler was inside the house, was displayed, or what it looked like Ashley had done was display a shrine in memory of her 9-year-old daughter, Melodee Buzzard. She had a doll on the couch dressed up in Melodee's clothes, almost like it was a memorial to her. In fact, we reported here, she went outside to the front lawn where her missing posters of her daughter were that people had put up, including Melodee's stepsister and their friends, and she cut the faces out of those posters and brought them inside her house and put them or taped them or whatever she did on her couch on this memorial site, if you will, on her couch of her daughter, of her daughter's face dressed up in clothes on a doll or a stuffed animal or something in her house. What do you say about that? That's like very disturbing. Very disturbing. And it goes to show how if you simply insert your Fifth Amendment right to not speak, if they don't have any evidence on where she dropped her off in this 3-day rampage out east from California in a rental car wearing wigs, are we ever going to find out where Melodee went? I thought myself that she was trafficking drugs, that she was a drug mule potentially. Maybe something went wrong. I don't really know. How did she come up with her bail money and everything else? You know, I don't really know where she gets her money, but she drives rental cars wearing wigs, and it's extremely disturbing, extremely upsetting that we may never know where 9-year-old Melodee is. These are pretty certain. Krista, I don't know if you listened, but I said, yes, I know. While I look for the news conference, I'm going to play you the video I released yesterday. So that's what we're doing. That she's the one responsible. She's been missing for 6 weeks now. And the disappearance centers around her mother, Ashley Buzzard, in California. The law enforcement agents have identified her as the key person of interest. They've indicated she's not cooperating. And despite interviews and search efforts and community pressure, we don't know where she is. And the frustration is growing for people like myself and you who want to know where this 9-year-old daughter is. And this mother has a history of incredible ill health and lost her daughter, her older daughter, many years ago, custody of her older daughter. So on December 20th, protesters gathered outside her home and with signs and chanting and calling out her name, pleading for her to tell us where Melodee is. And it wasn't a long planned professional organized march. It was organic and social media driven response with ordinary people who've had enough watching children disappear while adults play games with the truth. And the protest. Welcome in, everybody. It is the system. There's like a loophole in it. And there's no way to apparently force this mother into telling us where her daughter is. And that is the most disturbing part of this, is that people can bypass the system when it comes to reporting their own children missing. And Ashley's older daughter, the one she lost custody of, was also, as you just heard, one of the ones outside protesting. It raises questions about the trauma and the boundaries. And when kids get caught in these crossfires and the system and all of the red tape, gray loopholes in the law fail our children. There's a line here between public outrage and potential harassment as well that we have to talk about. People no longer trust the system and they want to protect the children. And she has her rights. She has her rights, including the right to remain silent. And they may not have yet have enough evidence to charge her with a specific crime, but without charges, they simply can't lock her up and demand answers. So we end up in this limbo of this 9-year-old child missing and the parent who knows what more than they're willing to discuss, assuming she didn't go into a blackout, which is really hard to believe that she went into a blackout for 3 days and managed to drive, halfway across the country. I mean, that's just wild. And the legal framework is built around protecting the rights of the adults, more so than rescuing the child as fast as humanly possible. It's not just about one mother in one case. It's about how our justice system weighs due process versus urgent child safety, and the adult civil liberties versus a missing child's right to be found. From an energetic perspective, cases like this crack something open in the collective. So you might be feeling rage at the idea of this child that's being used as a leverage or a shield, and feeling helpless watching authorities follow procedure while time passes. You may feel grief that not only Melodee, but for every child who's been failed like this. It's just wild. It's absolutely wild. I'm angry. How does this make you feel? The justice system so needs to change. It so needs to change. I don't know. I mean, I guess other than truth serum, what could we really do to show that what she said, if we were able to coerce her into talking, would be factual? I mean, it's just a disaster. It's a mess. And I really hope that the protesters continue to put the pressure on her outside. And I hope that the authorities who have cases building up on their to-do list of missing kids continue to push to find answers and to find the truth and to try to seek out whether there's any truth to her supposed claim to her longtime friend Tyler that she left Melodee with strangers, that she met at a zoo. Oh my God, it's so tragic. And I just think about that child right now. Think about that child. And tell me how you feel about this and the outrage of the cracks in the system. And that Melodee may never be found. Is she being kidnapped? That's yesterday's video. That was yesterday's video. Sadly, we know the truth now, everybody. Yeah, it's just so I just came across an article because there's multiple channels going live with the title presser. We've seen that happen before. But according to this article, there isn't a presser. It's the authorities distinctly said press conference started. Okay, Wendy, where? Because I've been looking and chat GTPT's telling me there isn't one. Melodee Buzzard conference live Fox Business. No, I don't see it. Hang on. Let me know where you're finding it. YouTube, try ABC 15. See, don't forget, I'm Canadian. I don't see a live conference. If somebody has a link you could send me, that would be super helpful. I really think some of it's because I'm in Canada, because I am like, I mean, Google's Google. But I did ask chat, and I found an article that said they were specifically, I was about to read it to you, not live streaming this update. So I don't know. Are you guys sure they're live streaming? YouTube CBS. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Let's go. Thank you, Wendy. Thank you. Okay. It just started 4 minutes ago. I just rewound it.
Randy from the Los Angeles field office. Immediately following remarks, we will have a brief Q&A session. I do want to emphasize that this investigation remains ongoing, and so there are going to be
It's as loud as I can go, guys.
some pieces of information that we don't have available for release just yet. We did do a very thorough job of trying to provide you with the most amount of information that we possibly could.
Thank you, everybody.
Without compromising the investigation.
Thank you, everybody.
With that, I'd like to turn it over to Sheriff Bill Brown.
Well, thank you, and good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for being here with us today. I am Santa Barbara County Sheriff Coroner Bill Brown.
Yeah, because it's as high as I can get it,
I am
guys, on
deeply
my end.
saddened to report to you that the body of Melodee Buzzard, the 9-year-old child who went missing from the Lompoc area in October of this year, has been found in a rural area outside of Canesville in Wayne County, Utah. And that this morning at approximately 7:51 a.m., members of our sheriff's office and the FBI arrested her mother, Ashley Lynn Buzzard, for her murder. Maternal filicide is rare and always difficult to comprehend, but this level of criminal activity is particularly shocking given the calculated, cold-blooded, and criminally sophisticated premeditation and heartlessness that went into planning it, and the ruthlessness that went into
It's unbelievable.
committing
Sick
the crime.
woman. Sick.
We have recovered a significant amount of evidence that clearly indicates that this heinous crime was committed by Ashley Buzzard, Melodee's mother,
honey.
and the very person upon who she relied upon and trusted the most in this world. From the moment this case was reported,
Welcome in,
our
Marie,
detectives
Lisa.
pursued every lead with determination, with urgency, and with compassion. Our investigators and those of our allied agencies worked simultaneously on multiple fronts, some maintaining around-the-clock surveillance of Ashley Buzzard, while others focused on the painstaking collection, analysis, and verification of physical, digital, and forensic evidence. That sustained effort was critical in bringing this case to where it stands today. Throughout this investigation, our detectives faced deliberate efforts to prevent them from finding Melodee and uncovering the truth. Despite those attempts, their focus never wavered. They remained disciplined, methodical, and relentless in their pursuit of the facts. Whenever obstacles were placed in their path, they overcame them. When cooperation was withheld, they relied on the evidence. Their commitment did not falter, and their determination did not fade. They followed the facts wherever they led, and that ultimately is what brought clarity and resolution to this case. Now I'm going to go over a timeline of the major developments in this case. Before I do that, though, and before I walk through it, I want to thank in particular, and we'll go into some further detail of our allied agencies that helped us, but two in particular that I want to recognize at the start of this, and that is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, which has been with us throughout the investigation and has helped us not only in our regional area, but also out of state. And I particularly want to thank Sheriff Micah Gully and the members of the Wayne County Sheriff's Office in Wayne County, Utah, and every other agency that assisted us with their partnership, their professionalism, and for their commitment to this case. This level of coordination among jurisdictions was essential. It was superb, and we are grateful for the support provided at every stage. While this remains an active criminal case and certain details are still being investigated and cannot be disclosed at this time, I can share with you now a timeline outlining the major investigative milestones. October 14th, 2005, a school administrator reported Melodee's prolonged absence from school. Deputies responded to the family's residence in Lompoc, where her mother, Ashley Buzzard, was contacted. Melodee was not at the residence, and Ashley provided no verifiable explanation for Melodee's whereabouts.
Crazy, eh?
October 15th, 2025. Detectives served a search warrant at the Buzzard residence in the 500 block of Mars Avenue in the Lompoc area, looking for evidence pertaining to Melodee's whereabouts. Subsequent to the search warrant, it was determined that Ashley had recently rented a car, and video surveillance images were obtained showing Ashley and Melodee at the rental car office, both of them wearing wigs in an apparent attempt to conceal their identity. These images were shared with the public on October the 22nd in an attempt to obtain additional information about their whereabouts. On October 24th, 2025, detectives shared an updated timeline and travel route with the public of Melodee's last known movements along a multi-state round-trip travel route that included California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Wyoming, and Nebraska, with a return route including Kansas, Colorado, Utah, Arizona, Nevada, and then back to California. Detectives learned that along this trip, Ashley switched the license plates on the vehicle she had rented to a New York plate, and found out that she would back her vehicle into gas stations in an apparent attempt to avoid detection by their surveillance cameras.
Wild.
Melodee was last seen on video surveillance with Ashley on the Colorado side of the Colorado-Utah border on Thursday, October 9th, 2025. And detectives now believe that Melodee was murdered shortly after that stop. On October the 30th, sheriff's detectives, along with the FBI evidence response team, responded and served follow-up search warrants at the home of Ashley Buzzard, as well as for a storage locker that she had rented and upon the car that she had recently rented as well. During the search of the Mars Avenue residence, an expended cartridge case was recovered. During the search of the vehicle,
Oh my
a
God.
live round of similar ammunition was located. Detectives submitted the expended cartridge case to the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives for inclusion in their national database called NIBIN, the National Integrated Ballistic Information Network.
God, no.
December the 6th, 2025. Members of the Wayne County Sheriff's Office in Utah responded to a call from a man and a woman who were taking photos just off the 3300 block of East State Route 24 in a remote part of Wayne County, Utah. This couple had discovered the decomposed body of a deceased person off of the side adjacent to West Caneville Road. On December 8th, 2025, a member of the Wayne County Sheriff's Office notified the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office of the discovery of the unidentified found body. Although immediate identification of the deceased person was not possible, it was apparent that the decedent was a female who had died from gunshot wounds to the head.
Oh my God.
December 17th, 2025, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives examination of cartridge cases found at the Utah crime scene resulted in a NIBIN hit, linking them to the single cartridge case that was found at the Buzzard residence. On December 22nd, yesterday, the FBI Crime Lab notified our agency that DNA analysis had determined that the remains found in Utah were a familial DNA match to Ashley Buzzard. Today, December 23rd, 2025, members of the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office and the FBI served search and arrest warrants at the Mars Avenue residence and arrested Ashley Lynn Buzzard for the murder of Melodee Buzzard. Ashley was taken into custody without incident, and she was booked at the Northern Branch Jail for first-degree murder, where she is currently being held without bail. While these developments represent important steps towards holding Ashley Buzzard accountable for the murder of her daughter, they do not diminish the profound loss that we are acknowledging today. Because this case is now moving through the court system, there are limits on what additional detail we can share publicly at this time. At this point, I'm going to ask Lieutenant Chris Gottschall to recognize the personnel and agencies whose work in our region was instrumental in this investigation.
Thank you, Sheriff. Good afternoon. This
So
case
sad.
required an extraordinary level of coordination and commitment amongst all agencies. I want to specifically recognize the detectives who tirelessly worked from the very beginning, including lead detective Joe Oliver, Detective Ruben Esparza, Detective Matt Maxwell, Detective Cliff Cabasad, Detective Thomas Brownlee, and Sergeant Jeff McDonald, along with numerous investigators, sheriff's deputies, professional staff, and support personnel who contributed countless hours to this effort.
Yep.
I'd also like to acknowledge our allied agencies whose cooperation and assistance were essential to advancing this investigation across multiple jurisdictions. A special thanks to our Santa Maria resident agency of the FBI, Supervisory Senior Resident Agent Mike Rusev, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, the California Department of Justice, the Santa Barbara County District Attorney's Office, Santa Barbara County Child Welfare Services, the Lompoc Unified School District, and Santa Barbara County Search and Rescue. At this time, I would like to invite Special Agent in Charge Patrick Grandy, executive from the FBI Los Angeles Field Office, to speak about the FBI's key role in supporting this investigation.
We don't know yet. We're going to listen in and see if we learn more. Welcome in, Cubby. I don't know. I don't really know, but I'm guessing to avoid being caught with all the wigs, but who knows? This woman had very long history of instability, mental illness, so we really don't know. But let's listen to the rest of the conference and see if they tell us, maybe.
Good afternoon. My name is Patrick Grandy. I'm Special Agent in Charge with the FBI's Los Angeles Field Office. Various FBI field offices in multiple states devoted resources to this investigation and I can confidently speak on behalf of all FBI employees when I
Very
say
nice
that
to
our
meet you too,
collective
honey.
hearts
Welcome in.
are broken as a result of this senseless outcome. The agents in our Santa Maria office, just north of here, worked tirelessly for the past couple of months with the Santa Barbara Sheriff's Office, and this has no doubt affected them as well personally. We were all hoping to find Melodee alive. as
No,
you
I know,
undoubtedly were
Jane.
as
I
well.
know.
That said, the FBI will continue to provide resources to the County of Santa Barbara as they pursue justice.
I did a video earlier that I was going to release, though, and then I ended up clipping it wrong. We can talk about it after the presser, but I just wondering, because she had a mental health history, if schizophrenia may have been at play because of Nick Reiner and learning about the schizophrenia and the psychosis, like the Lori Vallow of maybe the devil was telling me to do it. That's the only reason I mention it, but let's keep watching.
For Melodee, whether that be laboratory services, running down leads in other states, or other investigative assets. As I mentioned, this investigation spanned
Yeah, I
multiple
know.
states. FBI field offices in Denver, Kansas City, Las Vegas, Omaha, Salt Lake City, San Diego, and San Francisco, as well as numerous other local partners, provided resources. In particular, as the sheriff mentioned, the Wayne County Sheriff's Department in Utah and their medical examiner for their dedication to Melodee's remains once they were found. Thank you in advance for bearing with me, as I would like to recognize the following agencies that also played a significant role in this investigation. As the sheriff mentioned, it was quite extensive. From the state of Colorado, the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office, the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, Colorado Department of Transportation, Colorado State Police, Fremont County Sheriff's Office, Grand Junction, Colorado Police Department, Gunnison Police Department, Gunnison Sheriff's Office, Salida Police Department. From the state of Nebraska, the Nebraska State Police.
Wow.
From the state of Utah, the Paiute County Sheriff's Office, St. George Police Department,
Jesus.
the Utah State Bureau of Investigation, and the Utah Department of Public Safety. Lastly, I'd like to recognize the media for reporting on this story continuously, and for members of the public who called in tips. We continue to urge anyone with information about Melodee's murder to contact law enforcement. Thank you, and I'll turn it back over to the sheriff.
Well, thank you. He's thanking the media. That's so nice to hear. So nice to hear.
Thank you. Let me just conclude by saying these remarks. The circumstances of Melodee Buzzard's murder are heartbreaking.
Yeah.
All of us who have been involved in this case have been deeply affected by it. We were hoping against hope that she would be safely found. This outcome is deeply tragic, and on behalf of the entire Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office, I want to extend our deepest condolences to those who knew and loved Melodee. I want to take a moment to speak directly to the Meza and Buzzard families, who have endured unimaginable pain throughout this ordeal. Their strength, their patience, and their steadfast hope have been evident from the very beginning. No family should ever have to experience this kind of loss, and our hearts are with them today.
Yep.
And will be with them in the difficult days ahead. We stand with them, and we remain committed to securing justice for Melodee. I also want to thank the members of the media, both you here in our region and those out of state, for your continued coverage, including the conveyance of Melodee's image and the circumstances of her disappearance all across America. Your involvement played a meaningful role in advancing this investigation. To the members of our community who followed this case closely, thank you for your engagement, for your support, and for your willingness to come forward with information. The loss of a child is among the most profound tragedies any community can endure, and that loss is exacerbated when it is at the hand of someone else, and particularly at the hand of the one who should have loved them the most.
Yeah.
Today, we stand together in grief, but also with resolve. Melodee deserved a far better life than she had. We will honor her memory by ensuring that every step of this process is handled with care, compassion, and a steadfast commitment to justice. Our investigation does not end here. We will continue working closely with prosecutors and ensure that the judicial process moves forward with integrity. May God bless the innocent soul of Melodee Buzzard, who we will never, ever forget. Thank you, and I'll now turn it back over to our PIO, Raquel.
God, that's so sad.
We have allotted some time if anybody has any follow-up questions, again, reinforcing the fact that we do have an ongoing investigation, and while we're trying to balance transparency with seeking justice for Melodee. So we do have an opportunity to take just a few questions. Yes, Crystal.
Yeah, Raquel, I'm just curious to know, do we believe at this moment that Ashley acted alone? Or is there any potential leads that other suspects may be involved?
So the question is, do we believe that Ashley acted alone in this homicide? I'll turn it over to Lieutenant Gottschall. Please step to the podium.
I know, it's very sad.
Our investigation thus far has revealed that at this time, we don't believe that anyone else was involved.
I hear yes.
Raquel, the sheriff mentioned the retrieval of cartridges.
Yes.
God.
Is the murder weapon in evidence?
So the question is about the location of the murder weapon, if we have that in our evidence or in our possession at this time. I'll turn that over to Sheriff Brown.
Why are you up
The
there,
short
woman?
answer is no. We do not have the murder weapon yet, but we continue to seek it.
Oh my God, she dropped the murder weapon on the way home somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, so the question is where this trial will take place. I believe Sheriff Brown will have a response for that.
Yes, the plan is that this trial will take place here, since the intent was believed to have been formed here in our county prior to going on this road trip and committing the actual crime.
So we're going to have room for just a couple more questions. I'll volley back here. Yes.
And for any of you, I know early in the investigation, investigators had been out in those various areas along the road trip. Had that area in Wayne County been searched at all?
No
So
kidding.
the question is if investigators on their initial routes had been through that area of Wayne County. I believe you're asking if we'd specifically probably been to the scene of the crime. I'm going to refer to Lieutenant Gottschall for that.
Thank you for your question. We've been following a ton of leads, looking at a lot of different data and information. It is an expansive area of the United States that we were researching, and unfortunately, we didn't have specific location information until recently.
Yes.
When can we expect a mugshot of Ashley to be released?
I'll have you email me privately on that. We'll proceed with that. We'll take one final question here, and then that'll be a wrap for us. Yes.
Is there a motive that you can share with us at all?
The question is to a motive. If we have one established, I'll have Sheriff Brown cover.
We have not established a motive at this point. We have obviously established that it is what's known as a filicide, the slaying of a child, in this case, a maternal filicide. And there's been a lot of study and a lot of discussion about that and what motivates people to do that. But as far as an actual direct motive, we haven't established that yet.
Just a very quick follow-up. I know that Ashley, you had described her as uncooperative throughout the investigation. Can you describe her demeanor now? Has she spoken or confessed in any way? Can you talk about her demeanor now?
Yeah, I can tell you that as of this morning, no, there was no change in her attitude and her demeanor.
Wow.
Uncooperative.
Thank you all very much for coming out and for being patient with us through this process, not just today, but throughout the entirety of the investigation. And again, we really do appreciate the media's coverage of this very important case. And that's going to conclude our press conference for today. Thank you very much.
That is the most sad story. I mean, How sad is that? So I don't think so, Donna. I'm assuming they have enough evidence because they wouldn't have arrested her, right? But the video I did just before live, because I couldn't find the presser before the live, I was just, I just want to read to you what we find in filicide here. I was just sharing, could it be, some schizophrenia, some wackadoodle sort of Lori Vallow headspace. Did they say it was a gun? Yeah, they said they found the bullets. She shot her daughter in the head. And as I was going through the video to prepare, the one that I released as a premiere and then stopped it, hit it because I realized I was trying to edit out like 30 seconds and edited out everything but the 30 seconds by mistake in my panic to get it out because I wanted to be current. And but I was just suggesting with Nick Reiner and learning about psychosis and whether or not it's schizophrenia or drugs. In one of the videos with the expert was saying that it's really going to be hard for them to determine in Nick Reiner's situation because of the drugs, because the drugs can act like the devil made me do it, like very much like schizophrenia. And I'm just because we know Ashley Buzzard's mental state, I was thinking maybe she had some psychotic break. But Marie Curie, you're right. Like, how the heck could she have been in a psychotic state for 3 days? Like, it's gonna be hard to believe, but let's just read. I wanna read to you because he said, there's much discussion about filicide. So let's just read on filicide is a maternal filicide is the rare act of a mother killing her own child. It's a complex issue stemming from a combination of psychological, social, and environmental factors, while mothers and fathers commit filicide at roughly the same rate in community samples. Maternal perpetrators, meaning the mothers, have received disproportionate media attention, contributing to misconceptions about the crime. Well, he also said, did he not just say to us that it was quite rare? Quite rare? So classifications and motives. Psychiatrist Philip Resnick's seminal 1969 classification system, which is still widely used, categorizes filicide into 5 primary motives based on the perpetrator's explanation. Altruistic for filicide. The mother kills the child out of love. See, this is what I was saying. Believing death is in the child's best interest, often in the context of maternal suicide or perceiving suffering of the child. So I was wondering, because she had like this shrine set up, we've reported on it before, where she was cutting out the missing posters, Melodee's face out of the missing posters on the lawn, placed them on the pillow on her couch, according to Tyler, who was in the home, the box cutter incident, and had set up a pillow dressed and covered in Melodee's clothes as if it was Melodee with a picture of her face, like at this shrine. And like, that is creepy. Yeah, dressed up a doll, right? Like, yeah, it's very creepy. So, okay, so let's go through, because they're going to zone in on filicide, and they asked about motive, and it's saying here there's 5 motives for filicide. The altruistic one, meaning that the child was better off. I'm leaning that way. I haven't even read it all yet, but just because she was concerned doesn't mean lots of children's out there. It doesn't seem rare to me. Well, sadly, yeah, Krista, it's disgusting, right? But I guess we're going to have to follow this. And I said in the video that I did as a premiere, which we're not watching now, but I want to follow this case if it gets to trial anytime in the near future. And it's not like 3 years out if we're, remembering it at the time, because we've been following this case. So the second motive in filicide is acutely psychotic filicide. This act is due to severe mental illness, such as command hallucinations or delusions with no rational motive. Unwanted child filicide. The child is viewed as a hindrance to the mother's life or social benefits. Accidental filicide. Well, we know that didn't happen. fatal maltreatment, death in an unintentional outcome resulting from cumulative child abuse or neglect, spousal revenge, filicide. The mother kills the child to emotionally harm the other parent. Well, the other parent's passed away in this case. Risk factors. Maternal filicide is associated with several complex risk factors, which vary depending on whether the data is gathered from general psychiatric or correctional populations. Mental illness, psychosis, depression, including postpartum depression, and suicidality are significant risk factors. Psychotic mothers are more likely to kill multiple older children or often turn themselves in after the act. Well, that's not the case here, whereas depressed mothers may contemplate the act for days or weeks. Psychosocial adversities, common social stressors include poverty, social isolation, severe marital discord, lack of support systems, being a victim of domestic violence, which doesn't apply to her, or victim age, neonate killing within the first 24 hours of a baby being born. Okay, so these are the neonaticide and domestic violence are not there. So it's like either she had, and the first two are psychotic, like stressors due to, no, this, I take that back. First one's mental illness. The second one's psychosocial. Well, I mean, she had the money to pay for the car, and Chris Watts did the same thing. Yeah. So, I mean, it's just tragic. But think of this as I was preparing for this. I just think of that child and that video of receipt of her with her mother in that last photo we get of her in the car rental place wearing the wig, and this child is about to die and has no freaking clue. I mean, how sad is that? That is just the most disgusting thing. You know, it's just disgusting. I mean, here's the picture here. I'm not going to let me go and see it. It was a live feed, so I guess I can't. But it's just sad. I don't know if you know the picture I'm talking about. But it's really, really sad. Didn't work in the tarnation. Did she pay for a home and food? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. But the fact that, thank God, like you said, Donna, that her remains were found. You know, I hope she's treated, you know, with all of the appropriate punishments. Here's the picture here. Here's the picture here. I hope the appropriate punishments, because it doesn't seem to me, like you said, here's the picture here of her dressed up, you know, in a wig with her mother. So here we are. Here she can, I don't know, you can't even see it. If I even got it up right now, I haven't. But there's the picture there. Mud Happy Mama, welcome in. Yeah, with a smile. So look at her here. Like, this is just so sad. So this is she probably, you know, died shortly after this. She's, you know, in the camera's view, has no idea what's happening. And she's smiling, talking to the cashier. It's just tragic. It's beyond sad. But thankfully she can be laid to rest. Better than not knowing. So anyways, everybody, we're going to call it that. I was going to do Jack and Lily today. We were going to go back, but what I'm going to do is we're going to wait till after the holidays here. I'll probably be back Boxing Day. I got to go make stuffing and turkey and wrap gifts. And then tomorrow, I don't know what we're doing, but I will probably be back Boxing Day. You never know. Yeah, never knowing is terrible. Absolutely. I know. And I mean, imagine that poor kid's mother, like, shooting her in the head is just dumbfounding. So yes, I wanted to say thank you, Donna. I want to wish everybody a super, super Merry Christmas. And I will likely be back Boxing Day. And yeah, I'm gonna go to my daughter's. My daughters are going to their dad's in Muskoka. Boxing Day, they go to my son-in-law's, and then they leave 27th to go to their dad's. So I'm gonna probably go to my daughter's, watch Ryder, bring Ryder with me, watch the cat and the dog for the 5 days they're gone, and then take my daughter's car and work using my daughter's car until my car gets fixed. But I will absolutely be on other than tomorrow. I might go live tomorrow, who knows? But um at this point, I'm not planning to go live until Boxing Day. But if I do, well, I do because something's breaking and I have time. So yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Stay safe. Hug your loved ones. Say some prayers for the other missing kids. Maybe the prayers are helpful. I mean, they can't hurt. And I'll see you Boxing Day for sure, if not sooner. But I might do a tarot reading or something. Just keep on the lookout. Thank you for all being here. And Merry Christmas, everybody. Merry Christmas. Oh, Boxing Day is the 20. Thank you, Lois. You're welcome. Is the 26th. Is the 26th, the day after. Thank you, Jane. Merry Christmas to you. Merry Christmas to everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Happy holidays to everybody. Whatever faith you have, that you whatever your religion or faith is, and whatever holiday you do or do not celebrate. Happy holidays to everybody. Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, etc. Stay blessed, stay safe, and we'll see you for sure Boxing Day. Maybe I'll do a tarot reading tomorrow or whatnot. Okay, everybody. Thank you for being here. Love and light. See you soon.